No, she doesn't look better naked.
Well, I thought it was about time I made a video, an update video, about my beautiful Triumph Daytona. And it's been an interesting journey so far. When I say interesting journey, what I mean is she's fighting me every step of the way, and I have to keep telling myself that it'll be worth it in the end. Even something as simple as putting the bike up on paddock stands proved to be not so simple with this bike. So on the front I use a headstock stand, and if you don't know what a headstock stand is or how it works, basically there's a giant pin that has to fit into a hole behind the nose cone, and mine wouldn't fit because the horn was in the way. So I jumped on Google and had a look at this, and it turns out that the horn on this bike is in the correct place. This is where Triumph fitted it. So I'm scratching my head and asking myself the question, did Triumph really do this? Did they really fit a horn in the way of the headstock pin, meaning that you could never use a headstock stand? And it seems as though yes, they did. So I thought, okay, right, we'll do something. We'll find a way around this somehow. And there was a couple of millimeters on that bracket, so I loosened off the horn and pivoted it around a little, and it didn't quite give me enough room. So then I decided to take the horn off and just cut a little notch into the bracket just to give me an extra couple of millimeters, because I didn't want to relocate the horn. I didn't want to relocate the horn. You know, it's okay where it is as long as I can make it work with the headstock stand. So I cut a little notch into this bracket, and that seemed to give me what I wanted. I'm not sure why this push bike behind me is this close to me. Really? We're told to give cyclists room, and this one is... I could probably reach out and touch him. Yes, I could. And now I'm too close to this Galaxy. What on earth is wrong with this Galaxy? So we got the little notch cut into this bracket for this horn, and I couldn't help but give it a coat of paint at the same time. It was looking a little tired. I felt like it needed a bit of a refresh. So I got it painted, got it refitted, and it looks nice now. It looks nice on the bike. It does show up just how dirty the rest of the bike is, but at least the horn back in its original position means that I can still use my headstock stand. And what's Mr. Galaxy doing? 2 lanes? Would you like to pick one? I was hoping you wouldn't pick mine, but never mind. So all this faffing about with the front stand and the horn, etc., all of this was after trying to get the bike on its rear stand, which was a job in itself. The swing arm on the Daytona is curved, and the thread where you fit your bobbin or your cotton reel, whatever you want to call it, is at the lower part of the swing arm. And it seems as though a previous owner or a previous mechanic has scratched the swing arm on both sides simply by putting it up on a stand, because it looks like if you use standard cotton reels, the hooks of the swing arm end up too close to the swing arm and you end up scratching it. And at the minute I've bought the bike and it's got some rather small cotton reels on it. So I had to accept the fact that the swing arm was already scratched, and I just had to put it up on the stand, and the hooks on my paddock stand, I don't think I've made it any worse, but I can definitely see how it's happened. And yeah, at the moment this swing arm's got some rather small cotton reels on it. So I thought to myself, well, the swing arm already needs to be repainted from the previous accident back in 2019. So I thought to myself, well, you know what, I'll pick up all of these little scratches on the swing arm at the same time. And this prompted me to get some paint ordered. Turns out there was a company, there was a guy on eBay selling the exact paint that I needed. So I promptly ordered it, only to then a couple of days later get a message saying, we've refunded you because we don't have the paint. It's like, bloody hell, really? Okay, this is certainly trying me. So no paint. I suspect at some point I will take the bike to the paint shop and just get that swing arm colour matched. So anyway, we had the bike up on the paddock stands, gave it a once over. Nothing jumped out at me, nothing really surprised me. There were no nasty surprises so far at this point. So I turned my attention to some of the cosmetics. The first of which being Lauren's fuel filler protector, and she had a tank protector as well. And I know it's personal preference. Some people would like the Union Jacks on both of them. I personally didn't like them at all, and I felt like as soon as I got the bike I felt like they had to go. So it was out with the heat gun, get a little bit of heat into the glue, you know, just soften it up a little bit, and then just start peeling. And the fuel filler protector, of course, was in about a dozen different pieces. They all came off relatively easily. And then I turned my attention to the tank protector. Same process, little bit of heat, and that one peeled off. That one just peeled off in one go. And the worry is when you're removing a tank protector that you didn't fit, the worry is that it might be there, sort of a covering up some damage, we say. Because when I first bought Rafiki, and I don't have a picture, but when I first bought Rafiki, he had a tank protector and it was all discoloured and nasty, so I decided that's not staying, that's going. So I peeled it off, and yeah, it was covering up scratches. So that's always a worry when you're taking off a tank protector that someone else has fitted. So I peeled off this tank protector. Who would have known that a Maestro would have been interesting? Anyway, peeled off this tank protector. There's not a mark on the tank. It's beautiful. So just a little bit of a polish and we were good. The fuel filler one though, yeah. The inner part of that fuel filler, the dark grey bit, wasn't looking too bad. The outer ring, that's like a silver colour, was chipped and flaked and, you know, paint missing off it, and that was pretty nasty. It kind of stopped me in my tracks, that one did, and I had to think about what I was going to do about it. So whilst I'm thinking about what to do, you know, do I repaint this whole thing? Do I replace the fuel filler? Which was something I looked into, but I couldn't get an original in good condition. I could get aftermarket ones, but the lock would have been different, and they just didn't look right. And I could have got aluminium ones, and the aluminium ones looked nice, but they didn't have a lock at all, and I'm not about to leave my bike without a lock on its fuel filler. So whilst I'm trying to decide what to do about the fuel filler, I decided let's get a battery ordered. I tried to charge her old battery, which proved rather futile. That battery was completely dead. So I promptly got on and ordered another, which was nice when it turned up. It was easy enough to fit, and of course once it was fitted it was nice to get the bike started again. It's always nice to hear a Triumph triple running. And it was easy enough to fit, although there does seem to be a number of cables, like the cable for the seat lock and a number of electrical cables that just seem to be in the way. So that's either another terrible Triumph design flaw, or I need to do some tidying up. And talking of tidying up, at some point, I think it was at some point between fitting the battery and actually turning my attention back to the fuel filler, I decided that I needed to have a tidy up at the garage, because I was storing both Rafiki and Laren in the garage, and they both fitted in, you know, just about, but trying to work on them, yeah, I just had no room at all. So at some point I managed to have a tidy up of my tools, move a few things into the garage. How on earth has that car ended up there? Trying not to do the classic rubberneck in here, but that is what I'm doing. Anyway, yeah, I tidied up the garage, moved some stuff into the shed. And now, let's be honest, it looks like I've done this so that I can keep 2 motorbikes.